In recent years, the issue of climate change has received traction amongst the international community as a problem that needs to be addressed. However, the issues associated with climate change disproportionately affect regions in extreme northern or southern latitudes, such as Alaska. For example, the state of Alaska has been warming at a rate twice the national average for the past decade. To combat this, the state of Alaska has been trying to implement many new projects to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and have better, cleaner grids to power the state. The state is massive and as such has large untapped reserves of renewable energy such as wind, tidal, and geothermal. These renewable energy sources would be able to provide clean, cheap energy to Alaskans and especially help those in rural communities who pay a huge premium for electricity. Many projects are currently underway, and there are even grids in Alaska that are powered 100% by renewable energy. The main sources of renewable energy in the state are wind, hydroelectric, tidal, and wave and geothermal. There's smaller potential for solar and biomass production in the state, but they would not be able to scale to meet the energy needs of the entire state. Power storage is also being looked at, as it could use stored hydropower to store surplus energy produced during the summer months when renewable energy is produced the most, during the winter months when Alaskans need the most. This would help offset the increasing costs of electricity during the winter. In this map, you can see the projects completed or under development for tapping into Alaska's renewable energy reserves. All across the state, there are massive developments of hydroelectric, wind, and biomass energy production centers. The economic benefits of implementing a more renewable grid would be decreasing the energy costs for the average Alaskan, and especially those in the rural communities. Power storage would also greatly improve the grid, as it would be more able to react to changes in supply and need. These projects themselves would also help stimulate the economy, as locals would need to be hired to plan and construct these facilities. The benefits are most pronounced in the isolated communities of Alaska. These people are living in a small community powered by a single grid, usually from a diesel electric generator. The average cost for a kilowatt hour of electricity out there is 60 cents, which is much higher than the national average. In Anchorage, for example, it costs around 17 to 20 cents depending on the time of year. The cost of energy is also especially reliant on the cost of diesel fuel in these areas, so it can spike rapidly, which can hurt people, especially during the winter months. As you can see from this chart, in remote rural communities, a large proportion of their income is spent on getting electricity to their homes. So reducing the cost would help these underdeveloped regions and much more, and help bring people out of poverty. Local renewable sources would also provide a way to offset the cost of transporting all the fuel into these communities, as many of them don't have roads and it has to be flown in. The current progress of the implementation of renewable energy grid is going quite well, as there are cities like Kodiak that are currently 100% powered by renewables. Kodiak also has the hydro power storage system talked about earlier, which has been very successful for them. Multiple wind farms already exist, and there are more under construction, and some are being expanded. Hydropower already meets 25% of the state's electricity needs and is only going to go up in the future. Between all this and the construction of more projects such as geothermal and research into tidal power, the state is well on its way to achieving its goal of having a 50% renewable energy grid by 2020 or 2025. The state is already well on its way to being 100% powered by renewables, and this is made easier by the low population, meaning it has a lower energy demand than majority of the other states in America. The isolated grids and local communities could also be made to be more efficient and better serve the local communities and their needs, and reduce the economic strain on them that heating their homes and powering their lights costs. And the development of untested technologies like tidal and wave power in the southeast of Alaska will have great benefits to people or regions across the world who are also looking at investing in similar technologies, as it is still undeveloped and unproven.